Hello everyone and welcome back to Adventures of Well, I'm me, and today we are going to be talking about a new game for Game a Day videos. Last time we talked about a disappointing game, which was Final Fantasy NT, or Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. Today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Battlefront on the PS4. A disappointment, as we would all say. Look, I loved the Battlefront games growing up. We had the Star Wars trilogy on DVD, which came with a demo for Battlefront on the Xbox. We didn't have an Xbox, but we did have an Xbox at the place we always went to Easter for our holiday. So we would take that demo disc and play Battlefront there. And it was like an Endor Forest Moon battle situation where you're on the speeder bikes and things like that, and I loved that. It was great. But unfortunately we didn't have an Xbox at home, so we only got to play this demo like once a year. With that, we got a PSP from China when my uncle and auntie went over to China. They brought it back, which was great. It had all these games just already on it on discs. You could load them on, and if you tried to do anything else and make it work with regular games and update it, then it turned into a brick. But a whole heap of games that I'd load on and play, and it was fun. It was kind of how I tested a lot of the games that I wanted to get for the PSP. And I remember downloading some of the Battlefront PSP games and played them all the time. It was great. It was one of those things I always just played with bots, and I always just would do I think there was somewhat like of a story mode. I don't remember a lot of it because it was only on there for a certain amount of time because I got rid of that PSP. But that was there, and in that we had, I think there was 2 PSP Battlefront games I had on it. I played that and it was fun. It was great. I loved having that. But I didn't own Battlefront anywhere else. I now have Battlefront 2 and that on Steam, just for fun. And I've got Battlefront, the new one from DICE, and I've got Battlefront 2 from DICE on the PlayStation 4. This I got from my cousin because he accidentally pre-ordered 2 copies of it. So we picked both of them up, and then I paid him half the price of whatever recommended retail was at the time, which was great. Gave me a game that I could play with them, my cousin, his friends, all that. But just this Battlefront by DICE lacked a story. Lacked any solo support really, and that was kind of disappointing because I found that I wanted to play with people. I'm not that great at online games. I didn't have a way to really practice by myself a lot. There was a couple of missions you could do solo, an arcade type battle arrangement, but it wasn't the same. It was lacking. I think Battlefront 2 has done that a lot better with the way they've done it. They've given you a solo story. They've given you different play modes. This one just lacked a lot. I did get the season pass for it. I liked the characters. Not all the characters that I liked in this one I've actually made it into Battlefront 2, which I found a little bit annoying. I loved having the Rogue One content in this. That was great. It was probably one of the best things about Star Wars Battlefront. That, and I liked there was a mode where you'd have a space battle, and then the rebels, if you're on that side and you got through the space part, you'd go into the Death Star, and then you'd try and blow up the Death Star or something like that, or a Star Destroyer. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was fun. The other good thing about this is that it had the VR mission for Rogue One at the time. That I love. I think that is one of the best VR experiences that there is on PlayStation VR. I played a lot of that. I occasionally just stick this in and install it just to play the VR mission. I find the more realistic the VR, game is, the more motion sick I get. And Star Wars being in space is just still cartoony enough that I don't get motion sick. So I love it. You get to fly around in an X-Wing and you get to immerse yourself in Star Wars. So there's that. That's one of the things that I think is like amazing about it. But yeah, unfortunately, that's all that holds up for it. This VR mission and one of the expansions, which I haven't even checked, but there's probably not a lot of online support for this anymore. People probably ditched this for Battlefront 2. And then that kind of went through all of its struggles as well. I mean, there's the new like anniversary pack that's come out, which I don't know if all that content can still be free unlocked. I'll have to check that out because there's some new costumes and stuff, so it doesn't really do a lot. I don't know if there's new game modes that come with it because I haven't really looked into it a lot. I was still just playing just the regular Battlefront 2, but I don't know. We'll have to check that out. But it's just, yeah, a little bit disappointing. And one thing I really dislike with the Battlefront games is not being able to just pick a map and play on that one map. So you pick a game mode and then you have to cycle through it and it's randomly picking it. When I play those games, I want to be able to go, excellent, I want to play, especially for me, I love the forest like setting in the game. I love the speeder bikes, I love the Imperial walkers going through and the stormtroopers and the rebel soldiers having to fight that off. I love that. But I can't just sit there and pick that and play that in a lot of these games. I have to cycle through it. And that's what I loved about that demo, was it was only that level. And I never seem to get into any of the games now where I can just actually just play that. I wish I could. I wish there was a way to select it. Maybe I want to go and fight, the droids in the Clone Wars era on a certain map. Why can't I do that? It's you have to cycle through things. It's not as easy to filter your selections as I wish it was. But even with this, yeah, the support just dropped for it. It's a beautiful game. It just didn't live up to the expectations that it should have been. How EA took over it and made it the big Star Wars franchise and got that deal with Disney for that. Luckily, Jedi Fallen Order has kind of renewed a little bit of faith of what can happen with a Star Wars franchise. So we'll see what comes out from that, seeing as that was such an amazing game, in my opinion, and so many other people's opinions. I mean, there was definitely problems with it, but I think that game alone should renew faith for people wanting to play Star Wars games, and hopefully we get some more. Hopefully there's a Battlefront 3 that has taken all of the advice that people have given, all the feedback, and they actually create a game with a really good solo story, really good multiplayer, and really good matchmaking system and offline ability as well. So, I don't know, Star Wars Battlefront. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, appreciate it if you'd leave a like and consider subscribing and check out other content on the channel. Hopefully this autofocus will stop because I can't really get the focus right. Anyway, have a great day and I'll catch you next time.